I'm Justin Matlatla and welcome to the main news. I'm joined by Susan Masona at the Sign Language Desk and tonight's top stories. Government assures nation of food security in the wake of a lean rainfall season. In business, Zimbabwe strengthens economic ties with multilateral and bilateral partners. In sport, Chevrons face Sri Lanka in Colombo this Thursday in a third T20 decider. Let's get into these stories in detail. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has received a consignment of 30 tons of mealie meal from local wholesalers for onward distribution to vulnerable groups. The details.
As part of their corporate social responsibility, the wholesalers handed over the mealie meal to President Mnangagwa at State House in Harare this Wednesday. They say the gesture is in support of the vulnerable in society.
We've come with a contribution to say, as head of state, we are gifting this to you to assist those that you are judged to be the most vulnerable and most in need. This is a part of a corporate social responsibility initiative where we've come together with Gain Cash and Carry and said, as wholesalers that are operating countrywide, we would like to also come to the head of the country who operates countrywide as well and make our contribution to his contributions to those that are in need.
We have come as part of our our corporate social initiatives that we ordinarily do in our different setups to give a donation to His Excellency with 30 tons, which is 3,000 bags. Our hope and our drive in doing this initiative is we hope that they will be given to assist the underprivileged people in our society.
Government continues to support vulnerable members of society through various social protection programs in line with the social protection cluster under the National Development Strategy 1. More than 100 social protection projects have been completed, including the Guruve Milling Center for Women, while 51 others are at various stages of implementation. Olin Andori, ZBC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, government says the country has enough grain to cater for the citizenry, including vulnerable communities in the wake of a lean rainfall season.
The agriculture sector has not been spurred by the vagaries of the weather, with the El Nino-induced drought becoming a cause for concern. In its quest to propel the country towards achieving food security, the government of Zimbabwe has put in place initiatives such as the Pfumvudza Intwasa program for communal farmers. The situation has been compounded by predictions that the summer cropping season will be affected by the El Nino-induced drought, causing anxiety among food-insecure households. Government has, however, reassured the nation that those who need food aid will be assisted as the country has enough grain stocks.
Last year, we produced 2.5 million metric tons of cereals against our national requirement of 2.2 million metric tons. The intake at a national level for the 2023 summer season was just under 300,000 metric tons. So in the context of food security, we are indeed food secure, although villages and districts would be insecure. We will then use the strategic grain reserve, which currently stands, as of today, at 211,000 metric tons of cereals to provide for those food insecure households. We have enough in the GMB at 211,000 metric tons to meet the 71,000 metric tons required for social welfare.
Shifting focus to the current summer cropping season, Dr. Masuka, who has been on a nationwide assessment tour of the crop situation, said 81% of the area targeted for maize has been planted.
To date, 81% of the targeted maize production area of 1.8 million hectares has been planted. We have also seen an increase in the area planted to traditional grains by 40%. So the area planted this season is marginally above last year, but as we warned, this season will be delayed, short and sharp. So farmers, we want to thank them for the massive response and for the agroecological tailoring that they have done and shifted to traditional grains. We expect that we will be able to have a sufficient to feed the nation.
Among other initiatives put in place by the Second Republic to boost agricultural production is the setting up of more irrigation schemes and building dams across the country. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, development partners are complementing government efforts in promoting climate-smart agriculture to ensure food sufficiency at household level. And this comes after the launch of an $11 million United States Lean Season Assistance Program by the World Food Program, WFP, and USAID in Harare this Wednesday.
The lean season, which coincided with the El Nino weather phenomenon, has witnessed erratic rainfall coupled with high temperatures, which will likely result in low agricultural production and food insecurity in some parts of the country. An $11 million United States Lean Season Assistance Program has been launched with the Permanent Secretary for Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, Professor Obed Jiri, highlighting the significance of strengthening climate resilience in vulnerable communities.
The emphasis must be on doing the agronomics properly when you do the Fumvudza programming. The short, sharp season means we may have a short end to the season and some crops may not make it. So the 3 plots really would mean that farmers, even if they harvest less on one plot, they should be able to compensate on the other 2 crops.
USAID Mission Director Ms. Jean Davis and WFP Zimbabwe Country Director Ms. Francesca Elderman concurred on the need to accelerate sustainable agricultural practices in the face of erratic rainfall patterns.
I want to recognize and commend the efforts of the many communities across Zimbabwe for the work they are doing towards improving their food security. We are proud to partner with communities in our rural and urban resilience programs, and the remarkable community gardens are growing a variety of crops and vegetables to ensure their plates have adequate diversity.
For example, U.S. assistance promotes climate-smart agricultural practices, helps farmers to access agricultural inputs and link them to markets where they could sell their produce, supports communities to protect and manage community-shared natural resources, and facilitates the development of extension services for smallholder farmers.
The impact of climate change has been felt more in rural communities where farmers rely on rain-fed agriculture. Coupled with climate change, it has added another layer of challenges at a macro level, threatening key economic sectors, infrastructure, livelihoods, and food security. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe and Mozambique are strengthening cooperation in transport and infrastructure development, including the Beira Corridor, to enhance trade.
A delegation from the Mozambican Ministry of Transport and Communication, which is in the country for the Zimbabwe-Mozambique bilateral meeting on cooperation in transport and infrastructure, held bilateral talks with their counterparts in Zimbabwe. The Beira Corridor transport system dominated the discussion, as it is expected to reduce transport costs for Zimbabwe, Mozambique and Zambia.
Our discussion mostly was on the Beira Corridor. Mozambique and Zimbabwe are signatories to that MOU, but the discussion was that we also incorporate DRC, Malawi and Zambia, who have expressed interest to also be beneficiaries to that agreement.
The Permanent Secretary in Mozambique's Ministry of Transport and Communication, Mr. Ambrosio Sitowe, noted the need to expedite establishment of a one-stop border post at the Forbes Machipanda port of entry to enhance and facilitate trade between the two countries.
We discussed that there is a need that we come up with a border post as a one-stop border post, where the operator, they stop only once, either in Mozambique, either in Zimbabwe. That's why there was a need to create a technical committee that will engage this with the timeline to conclude this, because we want to do it as quicker as possible.
Meanwhile, Transport and Infrastructural Development Minister Honorable Felix Mona took his Mozambican counterpart on a tour of the upgraded Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport.
I want to congratulate my brother, the people of Zimbabwe, the government, President Mnangagwa, for this wonderful facility. impressive, in my humble spirit. It's the best I have ever seen in Southern Africa.
When we visited Machipanda last year, and you tell that in terms of the rail infrastructure, my colleague well advanced, where they opened a rail line that was not operational for close to 26 years. So it was a challenge. Then I said to him, now I want you also to visit Zimbabwe and also exchange notes. And I'm here that he is heeded to that call, and today is here to witness what we've done again under very difficult circumstances as Zimbabwe.
Other areas of discussion during the delegation's visit include bilateral road transport agreement, naval corridor connection to Zimbabwe via Moatize, proposal for establishment of a border post at Kasho Valley, as well as the National Railways of Zimbabwe and CFM Memorandum of Understanding on Rail Transport. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
Government has championed numerous transformative projects in rural communities, including the construction of Rusununguko Clinic in Chiredzi district, which is benefiting over 20 villages after opening its doors last year.
The devolution program is one of the Second Republic's transformative initiatives which have seen healthcare facilities and schools being constructed. Rusununguko Healthcare Facility in Chiredzi East, which opened its doors to the public in July last year, is one such project implemented under the devolution program and is currently serving more than 20 villages. The facility has brought healthcare services closer to the people who were traveling more than 35 kilometers to the nearest clinic.
Nekuti kubva korera yose yakatanga kuti ikozwi korera vanhu vose vari kubatsirika pano hapasina dambudziko yekuti tikwire mabhazi tichienda kufoti.
Chipatara chibhedhlera lechingakala chingasova kona aiya 40 I'm sure 14 kilometers kuya 40 aifamba imunengi kaihlupeka mara hezvi chingatava kona itsutsekile.
Chibhedhlera chikona seirila ematumba kuivakelwa matumba ekota kurinzela.
Under the devolution program, Chiredzi Rural District Council is set to equip 3 more healthcare facilities, which include Matedzi and Crown Range, with modern equipment, potable water and electricity, while 3 more clinics are set to be constructed.
We are happy that we managed to finish these clinics in time, and as you can see, this year we have this cholera pandemic, and because we have those clinics working, the burden has been lessened. And we have got a number of clinics in Chiredzi South. We have got Masukwe Clinic, we have got Zemombe Clinic, Usaushava Clinic on the cards that are under construction.
Under the National Development Strategy 1, more than 300 projects have been completed under the Health and Well-being cluster, while about 85 others are at various stages of execution. Geima Tambo, ZBC News, Chiredzi.
Government says the impressive 2023 advanced level results, which saw the country attain a 94% pass rate, is an endorsement of the functionality of the Continuous Assessment of Learning Activities, CALA.
The recently released 2023 advanced level results, which show an impressive increase of 6% pass rate in comparison to the 2022 results, have been attributed to the CALA, which contributes 30% of the final mark. The Minister of Primary and Secondary Education believes the main objective behind CALA is promoting quality education.
I will attribute our humongous pass rate to a cocktail of strategies that we have put in place, including, of course, the e-learning, including, of course, the one that a lot of people seem not to like, which is the continuous assessment learning activity. You notice that the continuous assessment learning activity, which you call CALA, contributes at least 30% of the final examination mark. So this has also contributed to the pass rate. And so in due course, which is in the following month, the Honorable Minister, Comrade Torerai Moyo, after consultations with the Office of the President and Cabinet, is going to then release the adjustments that we have made to our curriculum to ensure that we align it to the needs of all our stakeholders.
The latest development comes at a time when there has been concern from various stakeholders, particularly parents, over the introduction of CALA, with many saying the model is overloading students with unnecessary work. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education is set to launch a new curriculum framework for the next 7 years, spanning from 2023 to 2030 next month, after approval by Cabinet.
North Constituency Electorate says addressing issues of service delivery and social amenities is high on their mind as they go to the polls to choose a parliamentary representative on the 3rd of February.
The race to represent Mkoba North constituency in the August House is heating up, with candidates and their supporters leaving nothing to chance ahead of the by-elections. For the electorate, the issue of service delivery is at the forefront as they ponder on who to give a ticket to the National Assembly.
Chatakatarisira neshuviro yedu kuti MP vachange vapinda kugadzirisirwa maroads. Hatisina maroads kuMkoba North. Chechipiri, mvura chaiyo tiri kuishuvirawo kuti dai tambogezawo mashawa.
Ini nangu ndiri mugari wekubhata. Kubhata kumusoro uko tine dambudziko rekuti kwatinobudukira uko kuPTC kana kwaToyo tinoburuka late. Taburuka late totadza kufamba kuti tisvike kumusoro uko, tofamba tichisangana nevanhu vanenge vachitivhundusira, vanenge vachida kutibira. Saka tine dambudziko rekuti dei tawana motikari dzinofamba uko.
Others called for the incoming legislator to prioritize issues of social amenities and job creation for youths.
Toda munhu anotarisawo chembere, mune chembere muno dziri muno dzisina ari kucheuka. Kubva makore nemakore hapana ari kudzichengeta. Dzimwe dzakatofirwa kune nherera, hapana ari kudzitarisa, vamwe vototadza kuenda kuzvikoro.
The Mkoba North constituency seat fell vacant after the recall of Mr. Amos Chibaya of the Citizens Coalition for Change, CCC, by the party's interim Secretary General Sengezo Chabamu. Mr. Chibaya, who filed his nomination papers under the CCC banner, will square off with Mr. Edgar Ngube of ZANU-PF and Democratic Official Party candidate Mr. Patrick Tahiya. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Gweru.
And now to the courts, where Environmental Management Agency Director General Aaron Chigona has appeared in court facing charges of criminal abuse of office.
The allegations are that Chigona failed to properly follow the procedures that he was supposed to follow as the Director General of EMA when he issued an environmental impact assessment certificate to the company in question.
It is alleged that on 26 July 2021, Lia Mingjing, project proponent representing Boredo Investments Private Limited, submitted an application for an EIA to EMA for the development of cluster houses in Boredo, West Harare. The land is alleged to have also been corruptly offered to the proponent by City of Harare officials without following due process. The council employees behind the scam were arrested over the issue and are on remand awaiting trial. The court heard that between September and October 2021, EMA conducted an assessment and review of the prospectus of the land in question in accordance with the EMA Act. It is alleged that the Director Environmental Protection informed the proponent in writing that the proposed project area is situated within a wetland and the infrastructure would result in irreversible biophysical and socioeconomic problems. They also confirmed that the proponent had no legal title to the land, thus the application was rejected. It is further alleged that in November 2021, the proponent appealed to the accused in terms of Section 129 of the Act, with the accused instituting site ecological reassessments. They also advised the proponent that the agency still stood by its initial decision that the proposed project was not compatible with the projected site, which is a wetland. The accused, however, allegedly changed his decision in August 2023 when he inexplicably approved the proponent's request for an EIA, yet the agency had rejected it. Chigona is accused of acting contrary and inconsistent with his duties for the purpose of showing favor to Boredo Investments Private Limited.
He was, however, released on $300 United States bail, and he is expected back in court on the 28th of February for written remand. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
Remember to log on to our website for these and other stories. That's at www.zbcnews.co.zw. You can also interact with us and share your views and comments regarding the stories that we give on our bulletins by sharing those views on our X handle at ZBC News Online, as well as on Facebook at ZBC News Online. Also remember to visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as our WhatsApp channel at ZBC News Online. And here are stories still to come in this bulletin. Zimbabwe strengthens economic ties with multilateral and bilateral partners. And in sport, Chevrons face Sri Lanka in Colombo this Thursday in a third T20 decider. We'll be back with these stories and more. Stay with us.
Please give me something cold, something real.
For big test?
Yes, big test. This is awesome, man.
Do the juice.
This is the right choice, Zimbabwe.
It's time to get stepping, because if you upgrade your DSTV subscription now, we'll step you up to an even higher package.
Respect that.
Upgrade now and step up to even more action. Step up to more football. Step up to more local drama. Step up to more fun and get more than you pay for. Upgrade now and get boosted to the next package at no extra cost. And upgrade to step up and get boosted.
Everybody's favorite fried chicken is closer than you think. Now you don't have to travel far for your finger-licking fix. The home of the original recipe chicken is growing and moving into your hood. Look out for our new restaurants and we'll KFC you soon.
Stay in touch without visiting a NASA office. Your time is important. That is why we value it. Simply dial 402 to access assistance from wherever you are. We encourage making use of our self-service portal on https://selfservice.nasa.org.zw, our social media handle at NASAZW, or send us an email on contactcenter@nasa.org.zw.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Today marks 11 years after the demise of the late Vice President Dr. John Landa Nkomo, a key figure of Zimbabwe's liberation struggle who left a legacy of unity and peace.
The history of Zimbabwe's liberation struggle is incomplete without mentioning the late Vice President Dr. John Landa Nkomo, who was instrumental in the birth of an independent Zimbabwe. The late Vice President's son Jabulani notes how his father sacrificed family interests for a unified Zimbabwe.
He left us when we were still young, going to the liberation struggle. Actually, before he even went to the liberation struggle, he was always in and out of prison, as you'd understand, as you'd read. So very tina sasi mazi engumuntu wabantu tina sakula sisodwa most of the time, but when umuntu want to hamba up and down the country, thina simbona umuntu wasebenza kakhulu. He was a hard worker, a committed person to ensuring that Zimbabwe becomes a free country.
Colleagues have described him as a man who was dedicated to advocating for peace and unity.
Chiye izifundiswa ezintathu. Eyokuqala yabona ama-phrases esiwaziyo ukuthi our peace. Ukuthi peace begins with you, peace begins with me, and peace begins with all of us.
Ubefundile sisebenzela kodwa wazimisela ukukhulula ilizwe lakhe, wachiya imuli yakhe, wachiya icomfort yomsebenzi wakhe, wachiya yonke into, wathi mina sengisiyakhulula iZimbabwe.
Ubaba uNkomo ngimazi kakhulu njalo ngimncoma kakhulu ngesikhathi sokuthula, ukudinga ukuthula. Ngomunye wabantu owenza ukuthi i-unity agreement isayinwe ngoba wayeneslogan sakhe sithi sona ukuthula kuqala ngani, ukuthula kuqala ngawe, ukuthula kuqala ngathi sonke.
The late Vice President Landa Nkomo served the nation in different capacities, with one notable mark being that of uplifting the San community of Cholocho, whose contribution will forever be etched in their hearts. Grace Sivanda, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The body of the late seasoned journalist Hector Murombedzi has been taken to his home in Warren Park ahead of burial on Thursday.
Hector, a seasoned journalist who died on Monday, who spent the last night in his home as he awaits his burial this Thursday at Warren Hill Cemetery. Family, friends, colleagues described him as a humble, soft-spoken and hard-working man. Although they are in mourning, they said they will celebrate the life.
He was a mentor to many other guys who came well after us. And it is organizing Hector Aripopa desk. We knew the desk was in safe hands. It's a big loss to the institution, it's a big loss to the family. But again, we need to celebrate Hector's life. I feel good it was a well-lived life.
In the newsroom, we called him Bla Hector. He was a man of few words. I just want to celebrate him today. Even though we are mourning, but we are celebrating like a hero in the newsroom. Isusu kutaura chokwadi pana Hector tarwadzwa. Kurwadziwa chaiko because munoziziva kuti akararama nesu kwenguva yakareba kubhindura ndokwaaishandira. Ende tikada kutarisa timu bhindura yakawanda chaizvo pano yatera Hector ende imwe ichauya mangwana kuburikidza nezvaanga ari. Anga ari munhu wevanhu.
Hector inini sekukura naye kusvika nhasi pazuva rekufa ndinomuziva ari munhu akanyarara, munhu anofarira doro rake, munhu anofarira basa rake, munhu anofarira chikoro chake, munhu anofarira kungowadzana nevanhu muraini.
A soft-spoken, humble and hard-working man, Hector Murombedzi will forever be missed not only by the media fraternity but by his family and friends as well. He will be laid to rest at Warren Hill Cemetery this Thursday. And we say, Hector, you will forever be remembered and you will be dearly missed. May your soul rest in eternal peace. Fungai Jachi, ZBC.
We now move on to business news. Zimbabwe has strengthened economic ties with multilateral and bilateral partners by operationalizing a development cooperation policy to mobilize over $600 million United States dollars this year.
The development and cooperation policy document shows that government is fulfilling the National Development Strategy 1 aspirations of restoring normal ties with global financial institutions. It shows that under the plan, government will continue to engage development partners through coming up with accountable systems on the use of financial support. Commercial lawyer Mr. James Makia is convinced cooperation between government and the private sector will create more opportunities for sustainable macroeconomic development.
Zimbabwe is a member of the international community, and being an international community party, it means third parties are now willing to do business with Zimbabwe. The other factor is that Zimbabwe on its own cannot develop without the external development partners, and them bringing their finance into the country confirms the mantra for Zimbabwe that Zimbabwe is open for business. Having a policy therefore brings certainty and clarity and confidence in the international finance system to know that Zimbabwe can abide by its own resolutions or agreements with these external parties.
Latest information shows that between January and September last year, Zimbabwe received a development assistance of over 500 million United States dollars, with more than 370 million United States dollars coming from bilateral partners. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwean beauty queen Kudzai Matija, who is in Vietnam for the Miss Global Beauty pageant, is ready for the final set for this Thursday. A look at the arts.
Kudzai Matija, from the landscape that are vibrant and captivating destinations that echoes with beauty and resilience, Zimbabwe.
The law student who is representing Zimbabwe at the International Beauty Pageant shined during the preliminaries held in Vietnam and Cambodia. Matija, who did not make it in the top 20 People's Choice, which is based on online votes, however held her own at the National Costume Competition this Wednesday. Results of the People's Choice will be announced on Thursday at the coronation. 20 beauties will be selected to the final stage based on the preliminary round, national costume, and swimwear. A sportswear competition will be used to choose the final 8 contestants who will proceed to the question and answer session, which precedes the announcement of best 3 contestants who will be crowned. Patience Nyagato, ZBC News, Harare.
Up next is sport, but first we take a break.
I'm gonna tell you why my clothes look bright. I'm gonna tell you why my clothes look clean. Tell you why they smell so nice. I'm feeling fresh, you know what I mean. It's got a little bit of oxy, bleach with a nice perfume that will leave your clothes looking rich and have you feeling good. Aloha, yeah. Aloha. You need to try Aloha.
Aloha washing powder. Say hello to fresh.
It's time to get stepping, because if you upgrade your DSTV subscription now, we'll step you up to an even higher package.
Respect that.
Upgrade now and step up to even more action. Step up to more football. Step up to more local drama. Step up to more fun and get more than you pay for. Upgrade now and get boosted to the next package at no extra cost. And upgrade to step up and get boosted.
Shumba Dzacho Tisu, Icho, Chimasi Masbanda, Loveness Mutune. I, Ambrose Amon Mutune Gwandu of Silver Kings Group of Companies, on behalf of the Mutune family, would like to congratulate our angel, Loveness Mutune, for coming out with flying colors, scoring a remarkable 15 points. You did well, my beloved daughter, and this is all I want. Well done. This is just a beginning. Don't be overexcited. Remain calm. Be focused and principled. Hard work, perseverance, and unwavering spirit have brought you this far, and I'm confident that you'll continue to soar to even greater heights. The sky is the limit. Special thanks to your siblings for their guidance and assistance. Remain united with that kind of love and respect to each other. United you achieve, divided you fall. To all parents, together we can build a future where our children's dreams are supported, celebrated, and realized. Congratulations to all the young achievers out there. Keep shining. Thank you all teachers of Regina Mundi. Thank you Madam Maposa, head of the institution. Well done and God bless you. Tisu Shumba Zacho.
The meaning of life is not to simply exist, but to move ahead. To rise up and achieve. To conquer. Introducing Kung Fu Energy Drink, your push for the next conquest. Kung Fu Energy Drink. Master the power.
Welcome back. The Chevrons head into their last T20 encounter with Sri Lanka in Colombo this Thursday, hoping to snatch victory in the decider.
The bilateral series saw Zimbabwe returning to their winning ways in the T20 format after grabbing victory in sensational fashion following a 4-wicket win in the second match on Tuesday. The Chevrons had endured a barren spell in which they had forgotten how to win after a string of poor results, which saw them losing even to Minnows in Namibia and Uganda. Going to the tour of Sri Lanka, the tourists struggled to find their way, and it was no surprise when they lost the one-day international series before falling behind in the T20 series. The Chevrons finally got their act together, leveling the series 1-0 on Tuesday. The win was Zimbabwe's first ever against Sri Lanka in T20s and got them back into the series. The 3-match series will now be decided this Thursday as the two sides who are logged at 1-0 clash for bragging rights. In the previous T20, the Chevrons capitalized on the hosts' floppy fielding as a former captain Craig Avon punished the bowlers before Luke Jongwe and Clive Madande put close on the match. The Chevrons will be expecting more of the same as they hope to leave Sri Lanka with a trophy in hand. The last time Zimbabwe visited Sri Lanka, they won the ODI series. A close encounter is expected this Thursday as the first two T20s have gone to the wire. Sri Lanka beat Zimbabwe in the first T20 by 3 wickets in a last ball thriller, while the visitors surprised the Asians total with 1 ball to spare in the second match. Before this series, Zimbabwe had lost all the 3 T20s against the Asians. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
We conclude sport by looking at results of AFCON fixtures today. The Atlas Lions of Morocco marched past Tanzania in their Group F encounter, dismissing the Taifa Stars 3-0. And a SADC affairs follows soon after this news bulletin as the Leopards of the DR Congo play against Chipolopolo of Zambia. Enjoy the match and good night.